Hi guys, AB here bringing you a brand new video. Today's video we are doing a deck profile for Mars. This guy has actually become my favorite ruler from the new set, Curse of the Frozen Casket. If you watched it, we actually pulled him in our booster box. And I built a deck around him and it's been just doing really well. It's a really nice deck. I'm very happy with this deck. There's not a lot I feel like I would change. This deck seems very consistent and very strong. The focus of the deck is mainly burn, and you'll see why pretty soon. And this is also a New Frontiers deck, so Alice Cluster and Lapis Cluster uh, in this deck. So let's get right to it. First off, obviously we have Mars, Fortune Teller of the Firestar. Uh, Basically, you get Energize, which all the new rulers have. When you start the game, you get 2 mana counters, and you can use the mana counters basically to spend Fire Will and pay it to use Ancient Magic cards, which is really important for the deck. Takes 3, 2 Fire and 1 Void to call Judgment upon him. Then you get Mars, Dark Commander of Fire, which basically does the same thing, except you get even more mana counters if you discard your Namblot, etc., etc. You just basically want to build up as many counters as you can with this card and use it to spend for Ancient Magic cards. And there's only 2 Ancient Magic cards in the deck, but it's mainly for the 1 card, which you'll see soon enough. But before we get to Resonators, we'll go over Magic Stones real quick. First off, because this is a red-green deck, you have to have 4 Magic Stone of Blasting Waves. Just a given, really. It's mostly fire, with this little splash of green, so this is about the only green Magic Stone deck I actually have. Then we have 4 Brutal Conqueror's Memoria. Basically, this produces Fire Will, or you can tap it, plus pay a Fire plus 2 Void to inflict 100 damage to your opponent. And it doesn't seem like much, but in theory, in my head, if your opponent, it's late game and your opponent's just really low, you could always just like slowly knock them off with just the stones if need be. So that's my idea with having those in here. But you know, they're just okay cards really. But any extra damage really is just helpful, you know. Then we got 1 Unyielding Flames Memoria. Um, this is a really nice card. Uh, Basically does the same thing. It produces Fire Will. And if you're going to do burn damage with one of your cards, you basically can rest it to inflict 200 more to your opponent. But I only run one of these because if your opponent's life points are 4,000, it basically enters the Magic Stone area rested. So you got to be really careful with that. So there's only like a 1 in 10 chance of actually getting this on your first turn. I've yet to have that happen, actually, so I'm pretty sure it'll happen eventually. I'm sure. But it's not too big of a deal, especially since you should really only be running one of these anyway. Last but not least, we had just 1 regular Fire Magic Stone to make it 10. I did try making this a green Magic Stone, but there's not enough green in here to really support it. I actually did get this one a lot, the green Magic Stone, the Wind Magic Stone, I should say, on my first turn, and it sucked because I didn't really have any other, too many other greens in the deck. It's mostly fire, so there you have that. And then that's our Magic Stone deck. Onto the Resonators. We have 4 Ruckegg. This is your searcher of the deck. You really should be running 4 of these in any fire deck anyway, because basically once it dies, you search for a fire resonator from your deck, put it to your hand. Simple as that, really. And there are ways to, there's a lot of ways to kill it. You can use it as a blocker. You can There's a couple other cards in the deck you can use to just kill it off. So there's that. Speaking of which, we have 4 Guinevere, the Jealous Queen. I'm running this card in the deck because it's basically draw power, and you can use it with Ruck Egg, because you have to rest her, banish one of your Resonators, draw 2 cards, discard a card. And it does suck to have to discard a card, but it helps you get the cards that you need. And so far, discard cost, even though there's not really any card that you want to discard in the deck, there's always been something I could throw away to justify the draw. So there's that. It's just a really helpful card in general. That's our 1-drops. Onto the 2-drops. We have Demon of the Crest Namblot. This is the card that I was saying goes with this card. You can discard this guy, and he gets 5 more mana counters. So there's that. Plus, it's got Swiftness, if you just wanted to summon it regularly. And when he enters the field, he does 400 damage to a target Resonator, which is also very, very good. And it's just a very good card in general. You just go back to your hand at the end of the turn, but that actually helps, in all honesty, because, it'll save him from, dying, obviously. You do have to give up 2 will, but I think the pros outweigh the cons, really. So it's just a very, very good card for the deck. Our next 2-drop, which is also our last 2-drop, is we have 4 Lancelot, Knight of Mad Demon. Just one of the best 2-drops in the game still. 600, 2-drop Swiftness, and if he has over 1,000 attack, you can inflict 700 damage to a target Resonator. And you can either do that with his own effect by giving him 100 per fire will you want to give up, or there's one other way in the deck. I don't have too many cards to power him up, but a 6-drop with Swiftness is just, too good not to run anyway. Our last Resonator, which is our only 3-drop Resonator, we run 4 Priscia, Pursuant of Exploding Flame. This is a burn deck, and this is one of the few greens I actually do have in the deck, but she's green and red. So she's 700, 400 with Swiftness, Target Attack, and First Strike. Then for an extra green will, you can give her Flying, which usually I don't even use the Flying, because basically when I attack, I swing for the life points, and either they can block and kill her and lose 500 life points anyway, or just take the 700 and save one of their own creatures, because 700 attack is, pretty hefty, but it all helps the burn anyway. So there's no question in my mind I had to run 4 of these, and that's why I had to make red-green variant. Next, we're going to do our spell chance in additions. First off, we have Ancient Heartfelt Fire. We have 4 of these. This is one of the 2 Ancient Magics I was telling you about were in the deck. It's a 1-drop. It's a quick cast, which is the new instant. And basically you choose one of the 2 effects, one of which is dealing 400 damage to a Resonator, or you can give your Mars, and give him 3 extra counters. So usually I use the actual counters part, but it's very versatile, so very good card. Our next 1-drop spell is Lightning Strike. Basically do 500 damage to your opponent or 500 damage to a Resonator for the cost of 1. So there's no reason you shouldn't be playing this. You should be running it at 4 if you're going to do burn, or even, in all honesty, if you're running red, you should probably just run these cards, because it's just too good not to use. Next up, we have High Speed Dash. We have 2 of these. This is the other green I was telling you about, which I believe is also the last in the main deck. It's a 1-drop, and basically you put your J ruler back to your ruler side. And basically it's like a forced return. So the idea with it is you put him back, and if you resummon him, you can get even more counters, which is very, very good. Very good to have. You don't want to really run more than 2, though, because it can get really clocky. I tried it at 3 and it was just too cloggy. So that's the idea with that. I really like the idea of this card. It really helps the deck. Next card, we have 4 copies of Blood Boil. This is the card I was telling you about that actually powers up the Lancelot. You can either deal 600 damage to your opponent, or give one of your Resonators 800 attack, and then kill your Resonator at the end of the turn. And it's only a 2-drop, and basically it's more burn. And if really need be, you need to get over like a strong creature or something, use it on Lancelot, or even a Prisia, because even if Prisia dies, you still get you still make your opponent lose 500. So there's a lot of use that comes out of this card with this deck, and it really should be run at 4, in my opinion. Next up, we have Memory of Flame. This is actually a chance standby. Basically, if you're doing burn damage to your opponent, you can do that much plus 600 more. And that's basically it. Just extra burn. And then the last cards of the deck, and probably in my opinion, the most important, this is my opinion, this is kind of almost what the deck's based around, is we have 4 Invitation of Disaster. What makes this card so good? Well, first off, it's a 3-drop that does 800 damage to your opponent, or you can awaken it for an extra 8, making it an 11 cost, and deal 2,000 to your opponent. Now, why would I want a card that costs 11? Mainly because of this guy. Because with your mana counters, you can pay them off and get one of these off. Even if you just get one of these off, it's just really all you need. If you get 2 off, which I've done many times, it's basically game, because you do 2,000 damage to your opponent just once. That's huge. Even that is just huge. And you really want to use it with this guy, because you get the mana counters. You just pay this for free, just using your Mars. So in my opinion, that's insane. That's why I built the deck, because just the idea of being able to do 2,000 damage like that is just, insane. That's half their life points. So this is a very, very good deck in general. I'm going to go over the side deck, what I have right now real quick. The first card really is a card I never really side for. I don't know what to take out for it at the moment, but they probably won't stay in here forever, which is 2 Combat Wizard of Altea. Basically, you bring him out. He's a 1-drop. He gives your Mars an extra mana counter, or you can remove a mana counter and give him Swiftness, which in theory is really good, but it's only 1 counter, and I never side out for him. Even when I had him mained, it didn't really seem to help very much, and I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of Combat Wizard of Altea, because I have mixed feelings about him. He's probably going to wind up just coming out of the deck completely, even though he's only in the side deck right now. So I just don't know what to replace him with at the moment. Next up, we have 2 Keeper of the Past Earther. Just in case there's just a trouble card the deck's having with a certain card, and you really want to just try to get rid of it or something. It's just good to have that extra destruction power. We have 1 Deathscythe the Life Reaper, just in case, to get rid of Swiftness and Imperishable on a card, if I'm going up against something like that. I know it's only just the 1, but it can potentially be helpful. Plus, it gives our ruler 200/200, even though that part of it I've never really had. It really didn't really ever matter usually. And he does have First Strike, which is very, very helpful. But again, usually I try to put him back so I can get more mana counters and resummon it. Next up, we have 2 Demon Flame, just for added destruction if need be. Then we have 2 Twofold Chance. I tried running more, but I never really had to use more than 2, to be honest, because there's just so much burn. There's not a lot that I want to take out of the deck. But again, in case I'm having trouble with a certain spell, they're there. Probably the best card in the side deck is Heavenly Gust. Basically, it's a quick cast, and Torrent, you can choose a Regalia or an addition and destroy it, or you can use Torrent and destroy them all. So very good card. Next up, we have 2 in Secluded Refuge. Added draw power or protection if need be. When I originally did this, I tried to do the 4 twofold chance, but there are just times I felt like I needed this one over it, so I know I'm weird, right? And then, last but not least, we have 2 Flame Traps, basically for feasting, because it does 800 damage to all your opponent's resonators. I mean, it doesn't stop Titania or Quiver, but it'll hurt them, and it'll destroy a lot of the tokens. So I usually use this against Feasting, and it usually works. It really hurts them, so very good side deck tech, in my opinion. And that's it. That's it for the deck. This is my Mars Burn deck, red-green, and I really like this deck. Like I've said probably already 100 times in this video, I do recommend using him because he is very good. If you were wondering if you were thinking of a ruler to use, I do recommend Mars. And going with a burn deck. And any suggestions are obviously helpful, especially for the side deck. If you have any ideas what I could do, with the Wizard of Alteas, if I should replace them or what. And yeah, I mean, hopefully this helps you with your builds too. I mean, that's why I do these videos. I say this every time I do a deck profile, but I mean it. I really do these to help everybody out and maybe get some feedback as well. And, that's the whole point of this. So, again, guys, thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe, and you all have a wonderful day.